Morning. So we've just finished our morning sessions, 6:15 and 7 a.m, even on a bank holiday, and had a question over the last few days about probiotics. And I was actually speaking to one lady about it, and actually to an extent recommending them in her situation. And we started chatting about the whole probiotics gut health thing. And I've had a few other messages about hay fever, stuff like that, and just in general, like sometimes, hi Norma, I'll get a question like, should I take probiotics to improve my gut health? Firstly, what I want to say is I'm no expert in gut health, and I honestly don't think anyone really is. There are obviously people at the front line doing like all the research into gut health, but they'll admit to you they don't know that much, which says a lot, right? So we don't know that much. So right now, when you see like lots of claims about probiotics and stuff like that, you've just got to stop and think, where's that coming from? What's the research on that? What's the data? Because you kind of got to be very, question everything, even me, everything I say as well. So what does the research kind of say? So a probiotic, to start with, is the actual gut bacteria that live in your gut, okay? So you have good bacteria and you have bad. I look at it like Pac-Man, right? So you have like good ones eating, bad ones eating, and they're just being fed. Now, what are they eating? So they eat prebiotics. If the good bacteria will eat prebiotics, okay? So the good bacteria will grow if you're feeding them prebiotics. So we've just had a workout and we did use some tins, and I was joking because I had artichokes. These are also called fartichokes for reasons. So they have a fibre in them called inulin, and this fibre can feed your good bacteria, okay? So prebiotics, things like artichokes, veggies in general are great. Sweet potato, greenish bananas, not that you'd really want to eat them, but then things are more probiotic based. Hi Dawn, hi Michelle. So that's kind of the difference. So where do you go from this? Well, when you take a probiotic, you've got many reasons, many things to consider. For example, you've got to remember, if it's a bacteria, acid kills bacteria. So if you're taking a probiotic, you want the probiotic to be alive. It's a living thing. A probiotic is a living organism. It's bacteria. If you want it to do its good stuff, it's got to get to where it needs to, alive. And you've just got to consider that if you're eating something, it goes into your stomach, the acid can kill a lot of that, okay? So now, given that, lots of probiotics, they've been tested, and the actual bacteria that gets to the small intestine and where it needs to be can be quite, or the large intestine, it can be quite low actually. So billions are in, but it doesn't really get there. However, there's other research that would suggest, despite the mechanism not being clear, so, we're thinking, but how does it get there alive? Surely the acid kills it. They're still seeing some benefits. So that's with things like common colds were shown to improve in some athletes, travelers' diarrhea, things like that, will obviously seems to have a positive impact on that. Apart from that, everything else is up and down. And there's many reasons for this. And that's because my gut bacteria will be different to yours. So you might have, for argument's sake, a Yakult. That might contain a strain of bacteria that you need, whereas I have that one already and it does nothing for me. So when you look at like meta-analyses in the research, these group all the good studies together, if you like, with like look at the limitations of them all and come up with a conclusion. They'll never really find real superior, strong evidence for it at the moment, because it's just so up and down. It's very hard to get kind of really tight controls on who needed what, why they had benefits and why they didn't. We know that gut health has a massive impact. I just don't think we know it all yet. And we don't know if there's more bacteria at play. We know that there's a few bacteria that kind of indicate that we've got good health. Like, that kind of indicates that. However, in some cases, people take probiotics, people take prebiotics, and they get really bad stomach cramp and they just feel bloated a lot. And quite simply, they can't handle a lot of these prebiotic foods. And that's fine. Because actually, when you look at it, people are eating them because they're told they're healthy, yet if they're bloating and they're getting like diarrhea from it, things like that, they're actually missing out on a lot of nutrients and they're at risk of malnutrition. So you've got to kind of get a fine balance. Don't go all in on something. So that's kind of main difference in that for that. I mean, it may help with lactose intolerance, so there's been some evidence in that. In hay fever, potentially, there's been some things in that, but it's not concrete at all. Is there any harm in taking them, like the yogurts, the Yakults, Actimel? No, there's no harm in taking them. They're pretty nice. I have them occasionally if they're on offer. And the other one is if you take antibiotics. After the course of antibiotics, some people would recommend taking a probiotic, and I don't think you do any harm in doing that. However, some of the evidence, so forgetting that, some of the evidence around like kind of optimizing your gut health is a bit interesting taking probiotics, because people say someone takes a course of probiotics, that's fine, it changes their gut health, but as soon as they stop taking them, seems to kind of go back. So the exciting thing is diet seems to have a big impact on that. And obviously we need to know more, but really it does come down, right now what we know is eating lots of vegetables. Fermented dairy has a great effect, so things like kefir, things like yogurt are great. Like really simple stuff that we already know, but when you attach it to this big phenomenon of gut health, which, if I'm honest, has been taken to a bit of extreme, because people just go, oh yeah, gut health, like we blame everything on gut health, which probably isn't a good thing to do right now, because we don't even know everything about it. But generally, eat lots of vegetables. Fermented dairy has great research on being anti-inflammatory in terms of your gut health. Would I take a probiotic? It would do no harm. So if you're up for taking it, take it. The yogurts especially. But yeah, Michelle says, so acid reflux, is that going to kill them? What, the bacteria? So if you take a probiotic, it'll be the same from your stomach. So acid reflux is just the acid coming up. So it's still going to hit it anyway. What Michelle means by that is they've done some studies looking at the mechanism of how a probiotic can stay alive, because it's a living thing, right? And get all the way to where it needs to go in your gut, alive, yet it's getting through your stomach. And if you're eating, say, a yogurt, right? Technically, that stimulates stomach acid, like you eat anything, even if you eat a vegetable. You've got stomach acid, will that kill it? And the research kind of shows that in some that they've tried to mimic the digestive system of a human, if you like, and have a look. Also, they've done like fecal samples and stuff. Yeah. And it seems that, yeah, some of it is lost, but some of it is still there. And if you look at other studies, there's sometimes is a benefit, sometimes not. It's very inconclusive at the moment. Hi, Pauline. So I hope that helps. I hope that covers things a bit more. So prebiotic foods, generally vegetables, artichokes. But you've got to be wary that if they do give you horrendous stomach cramps, like if I eat loads of them, like, yeah, I'm not going to be the best to be around. So you've got to get that balance right. And actually, a balanced diet, it kind of comes down to that. There's no kind of secret really with this. And yeah, like I said, we don't, if you go and speak to people doing the research in this, they'll admit that they don't know as much as, they know that it's important. I think we know it's important. But how you modulate it right now, your best bet is going through like healthy whole foods, lots of vegetables, yeah, and lots of different colours of vegetables, fruits. It's gonna do good. Fermented dairy. Yeah, all good. Any questions on that, let me know. Hope that helps. Just on my mind this morning as we use artichokes for our exercise. So, any questions, let me know. Have a great day, enjoy the weather, and stay safe.